Leafs Talk, JD Bunkis, Justin Bourne, Sam McKee. I'm not 100% for this one. The only thing that made me feel worse was a Ottawa Senators win extending this series. Justin Bourne, let's start with you. What'd you think of this game tonight?
First off, are you okay? Was you sick?
I'm a little sicky. I've been bedridden. I have been.
you
Yeah.
sound bad.
I'm struggling tonight. Hey, the people
All
that
right.
think I speak too much, they're gonna get their wish tonight.
Yeah. Okay. You know, they kind of are doing this thing where they just play defense and they don't give up high danger chances and they just hang around and think eventually they have enough guys that can put it in the net. And that almost played out just exactly as it has gone this series, but they failed to step on the throat. They had a 4-minute power play in overtime where they couldn't get much going. Matthews has a wide open net that he can't put it in. Top line doesn't create much outside of Nyes doing the thing he did. So, not a terrible game by the Leafs, just kind of uninteresting, and they failed to put one away.
Yeah, I think ultimately my biggest takeaway from that game is the Artem Zub away from the play headshot really changed the game because it immediately put the 4-minute power play, which was I'm like, listen, I understand you have to commit. It's either a high stick or a puck over the glass play to be able to get an overtime power play. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not really whining about the non-call on JT. It is what it is. But the fact that he's knocked out of that game, you go on that power play, and boy, you want, like, I'm sure we'll do some PTSD talk. I'm sure we'll do some ghost talk. Boy, that was a splash of cold water in the face, seeing Morgan Riley back up top there, where it just immediately went back into passive, no direction, no nothing, horrible power play. And sure, they got a couple chances. All Rekman Larson hits the knob of Allmark's stick. They grazed the post. They had some chances, but nowhere near as dangerous. And then you don't score in a 4-minute power play in overtime. You don't bury a couple of your chances. Hockey gods aren't going to like it, and you lose in overtime. You can't win 3 straight in overtime when you have a 4-on-4 power play, a 4-minute power play, and you don't score. So it is what it is, but that one stung.
This happened to Colorado the other game, right? You get your chance. You get the extended power play. You're supposed to put a team away. And I'm with you. Yeah, Toronto had some chances. Yeah, there could have been a bounce that went in the back of the net. But if you're comparing what that power play looked like with Morgan Riley out there, and this isn't like an all Morgan Riley fault. I thought it was just a group in general. Like, all of a sudden, Mitch Marner, who's used to being playing up at the top for the entire time, is like behind the net trying to create. Doesn't look smooth. Felt very discombobulated. Felt like just a bunch of guys being throwing themselves at the net. And to your point about the Tavares penalty, yeah, that's huge, right? The timing of that. Good thing that he came back. I thought this was a massive game for John Tavares' contract negotiation. Like, he was the best Maple Leaf tonight. And then they remove him from the power play, and it stunk out loud. Yeah. And I got to say quickly on the hit itself, you're right, Sammy. I'm not going to cry about that. Leafs ended up with a 4-minute power play. They could have put this away. I don't think officiating was the story tonight. But I was talking with a friend about why I thought the Hagel hit should have been a suspension. And the reason is that interference on those kind of players is as dangerous as anything in this league. Like, Tavares is embracing himself because he's not expecting to get hit in the head there because he doesn't have the puck. And it's the same thing that happened with Alex Barkov when he's going into the corner and he gets hit by Hagel. I don't think it's the world's dirtiest play. I don't think it's like suspend these guys, and I don't think that Zub should get suspended. But you just see the effects of what happens when big, strong players are not expecting contact, what can happen to them. And I thought it was kind of similar, at least in the Tavares play, in terms of the result, which is he had to leave the game.
Yep. Yeah. And I'll just say the result tactically on that power play, totally agree with that. What happens with their power play when it's Riley, and now seeing the contrast so directly, it's easy to see. They play higher up towards the blue line. They play farther from the net up by Riley, and he's mostly deciding which flank to pass it to. That's the power play. He's never going to shoot it, and so it's non-threatening. He's slow. He stops the puck from moving. He doesn't shoot, and it's too far away from the net. So to me, just plug McMahon in Tavares' spot there and carry on 5 forwards.
Yeah, I thought when he was out there, when they started it, I'm like, yeah, this is obviously what you have to do. You have to kind of reward the guy for how good he's been through the first 3 games. Obviously, like, he's really improved from his regular season. But 5 seconds into it, I was like, no. Get another forward out there and get Marner back at the top because this thing is way too stretched out.
I'm surprised they went back to it when like they got a break the second half. I thought that they would do what Bourne said or some iteration of what Bourne said.
And Simmer also said it right when nailed it, that when you have a 4-minute power play, you have so much less urgency. And there was so much less urgency. They were just really dusting it off, really floating around in there. Like not their usual selves in the power play for the rest of this series. So that was a big factor too, that they had the extra 2 minutes, and they're just like, we have more time than we usually do.
I also think the shorty affected it, Sam. Like, had they not given up a shorthanded goal earlier in the game, they might have been more prone to go 5 forwards, but they're like, we gave up a shorty. It's overtime. They felt safer. They made the safe choice.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. Well, I guess that brings me to like the other reasons Toronto lost this game. And so for me, I would pin it down to a couple things and I'll let you guys take it in terms of which one you want to talk about. I think that the goaltending was clearly not good enough tonight. This was Stolarz' worst game of the series. I think that they did not start with real energy in the first period and they fell down behind 2-0, which credit to them. They faced some adversity for once and they did come back in the series to at least knot it up a couple of times. But yeah, really bad first period to me, just with not a lot of energy. And again, Tavares bailed them out. And then, I think a bit of a lackluster performance from their top guys in Marner and Matthews, who to me were not threatening through the vast majority of this evening.
I think, you can talk about Stolarz a bit. I wouldn't say he was the main reason. I think the lack of punch from Matthews and Marner for me is, and listen, they had to flash up the stats during the overtime there. Like Sportsnet's just like, in case all you Leaf fans haven't remembered, these guys are choking dogs and they choke in every big game and they've never won one big game. Sportsnet, we got to remind everybody across the country that knows all this stuff. Have to remind them. Thanks, producers. Love you. Anyways, and it's just, it looked a lot like it looks in a lot of the games where it's not clean plays. The pucks are bouncing off their sticks. There's no extended zone time. There's parts of it where they're not noticeable. And this is an extremely winnable game where Sens are dying to give it away. Sens are dying for you to, cough it. They blew it in the third period. They blew 2-0 lead. They blow the 3-2 lead. They're dying to give this game away. And all you need is your $23 million combined forwards who are supposed to be your two best guys. Like, they break in an overtime. Matthews misses the net. Like, bear down here, man. Shoot. Like, this is what you guys are supposed to be here for. And it just gave me bad memories of a lot of games I've watched. And it just looked like a lot of them, as you guys know.
Yeah. We've had that conversation where it's just like you're just begging for them to like have one of those games in one of these spots where they talk about killer instinct or whatever. And they weren't good tonight. No, 16 and 34, not a good night for them. But, one of those things where I think the Stolarz comment is valid. Sportlogic has shot attempts. Maybe I'll get an updated one, but right now it's 11-5 for Toronto in the game. 5 high danger chances for Ottawa in that game. You give up 4. It wouldn't be as big a deal if he hadn't give up the 2-2 muffin to Tkachuk the game before. And I was like, don't like seeing that. And then tonight he's fine. I don't think he cost him the game by any stretch, but he's on notice now, right? You get one more of those, you got a decision to make.
So I will say this. I agree with both you guys. I think that Sam is bang on with the top dudes. Ultimately, this is an elimination game, and that is what is going to count for these two guys. And tonight it was, I thought, far and away their worst game of the series. Obviously we all take pretty extensive notes tonight. We try to like clip certain things. I went through a lot of their shifts because once it started to become a story, and I don't really think that they had a positive impact until overtime when Matthews seemed to crank it up a little bit with a few minutes left in what was going to result in the very end of the game. I thought that they were bad in their own end. They got hemmed in a couple of times. They were bad with their breakouts. There was no meaningful forecheck. There was no physical play outside of, again, Matthew Nyes. And I just thought that it was a pretty big disappearing act from two guys that you're leaning on to be still your identity players, and that they got saved in large part due to the Nylander line, which was led by John Tavares. As to the goaltending, Oh, sorry, Bourne, I want you to jump in on that because I want you to go there.
The Tavares thing.
Oh, the Tavares thing. I thought you were going to jump in on Matthews and Marner.
Well, yeah, no, the only note is just that Nyes makes the play, and you're like, where's that moment? Where's that moment here from 16 or 34? So nice that 23 was able to have one.
Yeah. I mean, he just doesn't have the scars, this guy. Like, it just feels like he's young and dumb and not overthinking anything out there. He's playing physical, and the play he makes here is just speed, blows by.
This is all world.
And yeah, like it hits the top net. Like, there doesn't hit any of the middle part. Like, that's the top net where he puts the water bottle. Like, that's all it touches and comes back out. And yeah, like he's on that line and he's, creating stuff and but it's not his job to, be the main contributor to that line. And he's the only guy that does one tonight. So I don't know. We can have the same conversation about Matthews and Marner, but I'll let you jump back in here, Borny. But it just wasn't good enough in an elimination game where the stats are getting flashed up.
Yeah.
Well, can I say one thing about Nyes here, seeing as we're doing this now? I was thinking to myself as he scored that goal that no matter what happens in the postseason for the Toronto Maple Leafs, the era of the core four is dead because you can never again have a conversation about the core of this team without Matthew Nyes.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's funny. You know what I thought during the game? I thought if you put all these guys in a pool, how high does he go on Ottawa? Like, where is he versus Stützle and Tkachuk? If you're picking fresh, he's 22, Tkachuk's 25.
Wait,
you might want him. You might take him first.
Over who?
A Tkachuk. You take him ahead of Tkachuk?
No way.
I'm saying
no.
I would take Tkachuk first.
Yeah.
Over Nyes?
Yes.
Yeah.
No brainer. What are you talking about? One guy was the best player on Team USA this year, and the other guy didn't make the team. Like, that's easy.
I don't know, man. He's 3 years younger. He's big. He's going to score more points, I think.
Wow, you're going to trend in Ottawa tonight, brother. Congrats. You're famous in the 613. Let me say, okay, I'll pivot back to the goaltending. I've been Mr. Goaltender apologist my entire life. I thought Stolar stunk out loud tonight. You got to make a save. Yeah. Like every single one of the goals, except for, I guess, the third one, right? Because he's coming out to play it, and it's a backdoor, beautiful fake by Zub.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just puts it on a tape, empty net. First one, I don't think he gets across well enough. D does the right thing. Benoit gets out of his way, gives him a clean look at it. He's too slow, doesn't get the glove up. Boom, first goal. Second one, same thing. I just think it's shorthanded. It's a breakaway. You're never going to be like, that's a bad goal on a breakaway, but it leaks through him. And I don't think it was a particularly sexy move or by any stretch of the imagination.
I think it was one of those ones where he was anticipating it being a way harder shot. And then who was it that came back on the back check? Got a little bit of it. I think it was Nyes that came back on the back check, got a little bit of the stick, sort of fluttered it on him a bit, and it rolled through his 5-hole. But you're right. Like, if you get that much of it, you hope it stays out.
Yep. And you're supposed to be a big goaltender. And it's like, if a guy comes in tight on you like that, that's supposed to be a win for you. Like, he doesn't fake him out. He doesn't do a nice move. It's not a brilliant shot, just goes through him. And then the last one in overtime, it's a flutter puck from the blue line, and don't love it either. Like, just think again, he's a little deep in his net and gets through. And out of those three, if we're talking about a 1-goal game in overtime, I'd say that you could nitpick 3 of them, which means that he killed you tonight. Like, Toronto outshot them significantly. Toronto didn't have their best punch, but they were the better team, and their goalie sucked.
Yeah. So how bad did he suck? In terms of, like, you're obviously going back to game 5, right?
Oh, no. He's playing game 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I did.
I'll tell you check the temperature on that. Just want to check your temperature on that.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, like, listen, he's my guy and he's been playing great. But I had a moment when he let in the second one where I was like, man, if he has one more bad one in this game, do you think about it? But I feel like that's just such a desperate feeling move that all of a sudden it like would give Ottawa weird momentum. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, if I'm Ottawa, I'm kind of stoked about that. I'm going, wow, they really think they're in trouble. They're switching their goaltenders. But
the only thing on that bunk is watching Ullmark lose a series for Boston a while and waiting to go to Swayman in game 7, and they waited too long. So at least you got another game to play with, I guess, before you get there.
If you want to just mention to Ullmark there, how many saves did he end up making tonight? I thought it was potentially the most shaky 33 save performance I've ever seen from a goaltender. Like,
he did make one huge save late though.
No, he didn't save it. It was Montempolo or Clevin or whatever. One of those guys came over and got the stick. Like it fluttered over him, and the guy got his stick on it to keep it out. Like he ended up making. I'm just quickly looking at it here. That's the last game, but yeah, he ended up making 34 saves, or no, 31 saves, and like I mean, in overtime, can he see the like that one that Domi wrists? He barely gets a piece of it from like the worst possible angle. The one hits off of his stick, like from the point that he has no idea seeing it. The one Tavares tips in the first period. Like, could that net have been wide? How many goals in this series have just hit mesh before Allmark knows what's about, like where it is? He's been so bad. And like, honestly, we can have a lot of talk about ghosts and about all this different stuff, but like, man, he's just been awful. And that's a huge reason that every Leaf fan should still have confidence.
I definitely don't think he's good.
No.
Them having suspect goaltending is should work in the Leafs' favor here at some point. Get you through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Last thing on the checklist that I have. Again, you guys can jump in if you thought there was something else that was glaringly bad, but I just thought the start sucked for this team. Yeah. Like Domi takes a horrifically dumb penalty.
Oh, that was so dumb.
Like puts them behind the 8 ball right away. But I just felt like I now it used to be the quote was you got to start on time. Now the quote is Berube's. It's they've got to decide in the room. Like he gave that one mid-season this year during one of the slumps, and I felt like they just did not come out with killer instinct tonight. Like they were letting Ottawa dictate terms, and then to me, the Tavares goal was massive because without that, I don't know what ends up happening moving forward. But it was a putrid start with a putrid penalty, and it felt like it took them way too long to come into this game. And if again, I'm doing ghost checklist tonight. Didn't love what I saw from the maturity of the group in terms of the way they started this game, where they just had an opportunity to step on their necks right away.
I had a few guys that I thought had really good games. We talked Tavares number one for me. I thought he skated really well, which is funny to be like in playoffs in a series against a fast team. I thought he really was Toronto's best skater. Benoit hit everything that moved. I thought he was really effective. And Ekman Larsson, there's not an area of the game where I don't love watching this guy or feel comfortable having him out there. He's confident, long stick, good offensive sense. Few guys that I really liked, but otherwise a whole bunch of, I'm waiting for it from McMahon, guys. Like he was an impact player for this team. He was better when they put him up with the Nylander and Tavares at the halfway through the third, but I actually think that you might want to even just start him there next game and see if you can activate him a bit.
He almost scored in overtime too on a horrific shot that like somehow almost snuck under Allmark's toe cap, which was weird. But to go back to the start, I thought in game 3, like obviously Sens came out really horned up in that game and they were hitting everything, but the Leafs did a great job of weathering the storm in that game where they were like in the fight, in the battles, like willing to, they didn't have as many shots. I think it was like 10-1 were the shots after the first 10 minutes. Like it was a real hot start for the Sens, but they were just quiet defensively and didn't let anything really happen. Tonight, they weren't in the fight for the first period. Like it just really felt like they were not up to it, which is really, scary. Yeah. But like, it's like, I didn't recognize, like the first 3 games are some of the most enjoyable games. I mean, they won 3 of them. So obviously, but just the way they won, it was so enjoyable, playing hard, winning more battles, just in the fight, willing to do whatever it takes. And it just, I thought they got better as the game went on, obviously, but like they spotted them too in the first period. It just didn't feel like they were up for it for the first period, and it cost them. Really did.
First game, they were on the wrong side of the puck battle win percentage, if you like stats.
There you go. Well, it makes sense.
You felt that early, man.
Match the eye test. They were hungrier, and I didn't expect that because you would expect them to be just as desperate in game, maybe even more desperate in game 3 than they would have been in game 4. Like I know it's back up against the wall, all that stuff, but like in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, we're kind of done here. In game 3, you still are in the series. So I was surprised to see that start from the Leafs. Like I really maybe got tricked a bit, but I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't.
And neither was I. I really did. I thought like Marner had a quote that was after the last game saying basically the Kobe Bryant job's not finished, that he understood that the next game was going to be the hardest one to win. Oh, and I expected better from this team tonight. I really did. And yeah, I know that they outshot Ottawa, but I don't think that it was a very good game. Like Bourne, you're right. I have a couple of guys that I really liked. I love Tavares. I thought Nylander was good. I liked the defenseman. I liked all the defensemen, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I just think that it's one of the things that just sticks out so hard when you watch this team is how different they are on the back end and how difficult they make it on their opponents to get to the inside of the ice. And again, the first period, that's when they were bad. Like, I don't know how many of those slot chances came in the first, but felt like every single one of opportunities that Ottawa had was at the net. And frankly, Toronto got bailed out because I think, what was it, Batherson that took a stupid penalty? No, maybe Perron. I can't remember who took the first penalty for Ottawa.
Perron when
it was Perron.
When he jumped into the scrum late.
Yeah. But it was like, Toronto gave up everything at the net. Then they found their game in the second, but it just felt like the forwards never got going outside of Tavares and Nylander.
I did think that the Lawton line was good
same.
again. Like they're very dependable. They just like, they don't create much, obviously, but they play in the offensive zone a ton. They cycle the puck a ton. They're physical. They're good. But yeah, like as much as we liked that McMahon, Domi, Pacioretty line in game 3, I did not like them at all tonight. They didn't really generate much of anything. And then you put Holmberg down on that line, and it's like, it's even worse. So
I might take Pacioretty out next game. I thought he was no good.
Looked slow and tired to me. Right?
You take him out though, putting Robertson back in, or go
Buddy,
Camp?
Scratch and score.
You could talk me into both.
It might be time. Scratch and score.
Good. I would do Camp for Yarncroc, Robertson for Pacioretty.
Man, if you're Nick Robertson, you come back in and you score, like you almost don't even want it for him, because like,
no, you don't. You don't want to score. You're like, this does not motivate me.
Yeah, like it's like the most concrete nickname there is. So yeah. I'm torn on it. I almost don't even want it for him. I like the Lawton line too.
Yeah,
I just think that Lawton plays with some jam, and Lorentz just cares. One of the guys early on that I felt was just out there giving his all, hauling ass was Lorentz.
The fourth line, or the third line, whatever we're calling it, with Lorentz and Lawton and Yarncroc, had extended zone time at the end of the third period. Yeah. And the puck came out to Lorentz in the slot, and I was like, no way. I thought for a second the Mr. Passion was about to, and I don't know who it was on Ottawa, got their stick in the lane and skipped it up into the mesh or the glass. But I thought for like a millisecond that everybody's pick for a big playoff goal, that when they're doing picks before the series, everyone would have said Lorentz, and I thought it was about to happen at the best time. But that line was really good again. So you don't touch that line. Like, I know you want to take Yarncroc out there, Barney, but like,
no, they're going. He's
been a contributing member of a good line for you that's responsible and you can lean on.
For sure.
Like he's not great. I get it. Not a lot happens with him, but like he's part of that line.
He works so hard.
You just don't want to.
Lawton's my guy, man. Lawton's so smart.
I know.
He's
man.
always in the right spots, and he's a grown man. I love him.
This has been a really nice development for that trade. The way he's looked through 4 games here, where it's just like, okay, we're all starting to understand what he can do, and he just looks like a responsible center. It would be nice if he could maybe shoot one in at some point here, but he's been responsible.
It's coming.
They've been around it though. Like they do feel like they're just about due for a greasy goal.
Yeah, they do.
Like, and he did create the first goal of the series, but with the pass to OEL. So who, by the way, now has 2 goals and is just like the OEL signing. All those Canuck fans that thought Toronto was going to turn on OEL, that's the worst take of the year. It goes to Canucks fans who thought that he would be hated in this market, because he's just been brilliant. I'm with you. It's like edge. He just knows how to play. When does he make mistakes? Like, he's just awesome. I'm huge on OEL.
He was throwing kidney shots after a whistle today. I was like, this guy's slippery.
I love him.
You had mentioned that all the D was good tonight, and I did want to push back a little bit. I thought Riley struggled in overtime pretty badly. I thought I thought that, the combine it with the power play where he absolutely assassinated it, just turned it into mush immediately somehow. But then there was another shift in overtime where him and Carlo got stuck out there, and he muffined it. He must have muffined it 3 separate times, and then he got it down towards the blue line and muffined it again, and then they came back down on an odd man rush. And then on their next shift out, they got the puck rims around. He doesn't, seal the boards, whatever. That's a normal play. gets out there. Sanderson shoots it in. He's on the ice for the overtime winner. I didn't love his game towards the end of that game and overtime, and he's been good for them in this series so far. So I don't want to be too down on it, but just that did stick out to me that him and Carlo struggled a little bit in overtime. And it's the first time I've really noticed Carlo, which is, I don't think, a good thing.
Oh boy,
he was laboring a bit.
That one play where he tried to jump up in the rush.
Yeah, don't
handle the puck.
That's not you, buddy.
No,
you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
I would say this, like, so, I do my confidence rankings with baseball, right? Like who I want up in the dish in a big spot. I got to tell you, like, Morgan Rielly, yes, he's contributed offensively and it's been a good uplift so far to start the series for him. But my confidence rankings are very clear when it comes to the pairings. Like as to what
is it Benoit OEL 1?
No, but they're two.
No, they're two.
Dude, Tanev is so stupid good. Like it's just like
Tanev is a rock, man.
Yeah, like I was at like again watching these games and trying to nitpick through like the feelings of being different the most. And it's like power plays can run hot and cold, goaltending can run hot and cold. Chris Tanev is just one speed, always good speed.
He's
just
warm.
Good.
He's just warm at all times.
Lukewarm all times.
Just rubs people out into the boards. They stop. Someone comes and gets the puck and they go the other way.
Or like he's got these mutants breathing down on him, hammers them, seals the board, just makes a clean entry. What's his clean entry? His clean exit rate. Like I guess he would never carry it out himself, but
someone else does it. Yeah.
Passes that lead to, I mean, this is really getting in the nitty gritty here, but passes that lead to clean exits. He's got to be the first in the league. It feels like the puck comes around McKee, puts it around the boards. He digs it off the boards. Someone hammers him and he gets it up to one of the forwards and they get it out. He's so quiet out there. So it's kind of underrated what he does, but God, he's been brilliant, man. Like that pairing.
This decor is going to keep them in enough games that Matthews and Marner can have a big moment.
It's true.
Yeah. I think it's the only way it's got to be. But yeah, to the Tanev thing, it's like, I'm dying. We're almost done here.
Game, Blanc. I thought I was sick. I've been fighting it. Like you're dying over there.
Hey, listen, don't ever say that I don't care. I'm here. Fighting, literally just struggling today. But the Tanev thing, you really got to watch for it. But to me, why it sticks out is because how many years have teams been able to dump pucks in on the Leafs and then go chase it, and some shaky defenseman's back there, and they get rocked by some forechecking forward and the puck is bobbled out to the front. When does Tanev ever get rocked and lose the puck battle on a retrieval?
You had TJ Brody back there playing with a shovel and like it's just
Timothy Liljegren goes back there.
Yeah, Timothy Liljegren. There were real conversations like, if you just give him a chance. Like, no. It's
underlying numbers on the third pair actually might be the best defenseman on the team.
He's actually very good on the Sharks right now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Anyway, anything else from you guys?
Timothy Liljegren. Crowd talk. God, I wanted it for those Leaf fans. There were so many there tonight.
Yeah.
So many. And the crowd, the pop on the OEL goal was loud. When that puck comes across there, and the play that OEL makes to shoot that in, by the way, like obviously everyone's praising the pass by Nylander, and rightfully so.
Oh, yeah, offhand one-timer with pace.
That's elite offensive pedigree that he has to get down on one knee, offside, hammer that hard to get it into the net. But the crowd pop on that goal is like, if they get an overtime winner, the roof is going to pop off this place. They're going to get on that bus, and they're get like, you just got to deal with all those stupid Sens fans being like, oh, you guys always blow it. You're going to blow it again. Like, that's the thing that sucks, is that like, there's the history, and you're going to have to deal with that for the game's on Tuesday. It's not Monday. There's an extra game. There's an extra day off where we all get to talk about stupid ghosts and stupid crap, and it's just going to suck. There's an extra day.
This is the thing. I don't care about the extra day thing.
I do.
But just in terms of when you're leaving the arena, there's no other team that you can be down 3-1 against and talk trash, and their fans are actually like shook about it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Hush tones.
Yeah. Like it's, I was thinking about, so I did that, what Chaos pod with DJ and Pete the other day, and they were like, wow, you're really talking it up. Yeah, it was fun. I was like, it was good. It's all in good fun. Some people thought it was serious. I was like, no. But he was right, where he's like, are you feeling confident? I was like, how could you not? Like, they're up 3-0. Who wouldn't feel confident in this situation? And deep down, it's like, yeah, of course I know this is there. Like, and it's only the Leafs. Like, there's no other team in hockey where it's this broken where you would feel this way after a 3-1 series lead. Like, I'm really trying to enjoy this. I was spinning myself into being like, hey, you know, this is good that there's another game because this hasn't really felt like too much of a rivalry series yet. And it hasn't been a classic. And now you open yourself up for another game of potential. And now I'm like, nah, I can't spin it. It sucks.
No, man.
All right.
Sucks.
They've never
MLS
blown a 3-0 series lead, but they've blown a 3-1 series lead.
Well,
And
when
now-
Tavares
now
left-
MLS at the third home gate in the first round. That's all that's good here.
well, all I could think was that too, right? It was Tavares left the time they blew it
Yeah.
3-1. And I was like, no way. Like,
I had
know.
the same thought actually.
Yeah. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Anyways, anything else, Borny? Sammy?
No, I'm good,
No.
bud.
All right. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkis, at JT Bourne, and at Sam A. McKee. I normally read it off the thing. They don't have it, so that was memory. Like, thanks.
Good job, buddy.
That rattled me. I went and looked for it, like the teleprompter. I was very Ron Burgundy moment there. They could have put up anything, and I would have read that.
I
sucker.
am.
You can subscribe to this podcast. Please leave 5 stars. If you do, if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a thumbs up, and we will see you Tuesday night.
Sure will.